Getting started with your final project. I have some notes over here I'm going to look at as we go. First of all, I recommend, if it's not already set, you go here and set this to 48K. Next, you're going to want to import your movie. So the way you do that is down here, track selector. It's also, I think, Option Command E. Click on movie, brings up a movie track, set movie, browse, put it in. Now it puts in a track that shows stills of the movie while also opening a movie window for you. You work however you want. Some people like having the stills. I personally don't like it because it uses up precious screen real estate. So once I import the movie, I tend to disable that track because I have the actual live movie track. This is encapsulated within the consolidated window. You can obviously size the sidebar differently if you want to. If you click on this once and then hit Control 1, it pops it out. So it's now out. And if you'll notice, I click on DP and it goes away. What happened? Well, there's a setting. So if you click on it again and hit Control 1, it pops it back in. When it's in the consolidated window, if you come here and click, wherever it is, I'll find it, movie floats on top. No effect when it's in this window, but then when you pop it out, now it floats on top no matter what. Some people like that, some people don't. I actually prefer for it not to, because what that means is that when I'm working on something that has a video and I want to pop it out, I often work with it tiny like that, and then when I actually really want to look at it, I'll pop it out, he said, hitting the button. Come on. But now I can hit play and watch it and listen, but if I want to do anything in DP, all I do is do that. What I do is make sure that when I place it, the tab of the movie is going past the DP window, so I can always just go back and click it. And if you explore that mini menu, there's other things you can do as well. Now, before you get wrapped up in watching the movie and making thoughts and ideas, unless you already have, which is okay, be aware of this. As you're watching the movie, 4, 5, 6, and plus on the numeric keypad is fast backward, slow backward, fast backward, slow fast forward, slow forward, and fast forward, if that makes sense. So as I'm watching the video, if I'm coming up to a part, I can easily just, okay, I'm going slow forward, slow backward, and fast, and that's all just the 4, 5, 6, and plus thing. Something else I recommend you consider is go and find any transitions that might be in. Oh, there's one there. Boom. Find the transition and then put in a marker, Control M. It'll show up in the conductor track. If you don't see the marker, that might be because the conductor track itself is showing you meter or key, tempo, all that. So just set it to marker. Once you do that, it'll be there. And if it's not showing marker and you click on it, it will change to marker. Then you can double click on it. You can name it. You can hit Shift K, brings in the marker window. It's got punchers and streamers and all kinds of stuff. Pro Tools doesn't. Comment on it. I actually don't tend to use the marker window much. Something that I do all the time that Pro Tools does not do. And I really wish it did, because once you get used to working this way, it's really convenient. Besides being able to locate to any individual marker, you can go previous marker or next marker. Pro Tools cannot do this. It doesn't. They just didn't code it. I don't know why. I've got it mapped to Control Shift, period, and comma. So, and I worked for years doing projects, a lot of live recordings that were really long, and it's, besides going to specific markers, it's just very handy to do that, I have found. Watch out for having a micro focus. I see many, more than half students will start working on their project and it's 3 minutes long, and they'll get really wrapped up in the first 90 seconds, or really the first 30 seconds or a middle portion, and they'll put tons and tons of time in there, and literally they'll be 1 week away from it being due and they won't even have started part of it. So here's something to consider. When they make an actual movie, they don't work linearly. They don't start at the beginning of the script, shoot that first scene. They shoot scenes out of order. The people are storyboarding while the costume designers are making things. So when you approach this project, you could, instead of trying to create finished keeper tracks right at the beginning when nothing else exists, go for scratch tracks. You want to put some string sound in at a certain point. You could spend an hour trying to find the perfect string sound and adjust it and edit it and tweak it and record it in, and then later add other things with it and go, now that string sound isn't working as good. So you could put in markers, flesh out your video, maybe 3 or 4 sections, and go section 1, 2, 3, 4, and basic ideas for them, and then put in non-keeper tracks. Don't worry about timing, quantizing, trying to make things perfect or getting just the right sounds. Just get placeholder tracks in. Then start refining them and working on them. Okay. You will want to learn things. You will want to suddenly figure out how to program a certain sound in that or in the reverb or make something happen with MIDI. So when you find that you want to learn something, first of all, I suggest you consider, is the time that you're here in the EML really the right time to spend on that? Maybe. But as often as not, it's not. If you want to look up something and read something about the Minilog, you can do that anywhere, anytime, which means the time you're in here, you'll use more efficiently and get more done. So that's the first thing about the learning. The second thing I strongly recommend, this is something a management expert taught me. When you want to learn something, many people will not really in their minds quantify precisely what they want to learn, so they end up just spending all kinds of time drifting all around. So if you want to learn how to do a specific thing, be clear on that, then decide whether or not spending time in the lab right here when you're here is when to do it. That goes to budgeting your time. Instead of just working away at things, come in and go, okay, I've got however much time you're going to say you're going to be here, and try to think in advance, even though you can't really know, what do I, in theory, want to have accomplished? And then stop and review. It's a good time to write a little in your journal. If you take 2 breaks in a 3-hour session, if you're here that long, and you actually write in your journal, here's what I did, here's what I didn't, helps you budget your time and keep you a little bit more on track. Lastly, the journal itself, starting and ending with it, will help your efficiency, help your organization, help your grade, and also as part of that, communicate with me. Whether you make a video or write notes in your journal or any other way, or come and talk to me, that will help me engage more with you and help you get more done. So this has been a way to get started. Starting next week, I'll talk about specific ideas for music, composition, things that you can do if you're not sure what to do. So just start, get some stuff in there, and go.